validate some energy for a really wonderful client and some lovely little fur babies that are here as well. This is sort of a hybridized case. It's, sometimes we have cases where it's a lot of intense investigation, some that are just readings, some that are just blessings, and sometimes we do a little hodgepodge of a variety of services that we provide. And so tonight we are going to try to validate energy that is in the space, why they're here, do they need anything, is there any active or residual energy which needs to be moved forward. We'd like to help that energy go wherever it needs to go, just so our client can enjoy her space. It's a beautiful little home. It's very quaint and so gorgeously decorated for Christmas, which is my favorite holiday. And I'm loving all of the decor. So we're going to have to document some of that because it's just beautiful. And so you would think we're paranormal investigators. Okay, so maybe we're into Halloween, which we are. But I gotta say, soft spot in my heart for the Christmas holiday, and our client knows how to decorate, so I'm very excited. And we're also just gonna, fill out some energy and clear the space. And so I was sitting on the couch with our client and getting a lot of ringing in my left ear. That's actually something that she's experienced as well after a loss. And I've been feeling a male energy in the space since we arrived, and he's kind of been just sort of poking around, trying to be somewhat polite, but also just wanting to be validated. And he's trying to indicate little bits and pieces of why he might be here. The man that I'm seeing, because they give me a lot of pains. I'm an empathic medium, so I will feel a variety of things from a soul. And I'm getting a lot of weird pain right in through here. It's really like tight in through this whole region. And then I'm having trouble with my throat a little bit, like it's a little cloggy. So I'm having this really weird sort of set of odd pain in like multiple regions. I have to figure out why I'm feeling that. He seems to be well, definitely taller than me, and I think I see some facial hair on him. If you just a little closer. Seems to have shorter hair, maybe a little salt and peppery or a little grayish kind of deal going on, and there's somebody in the kitchen. There seems to be an older gentleman with him, like an older, like, so maybe like a father or grandfatherly figure for him, seems to be with him. And that's who came and retrieved him. When he departed, this older male is who came and got him. But there's a female in the kitchen, and she seems to be very nosy and getting in, like she's looking through the drawers, and I don't know what she's looking for. She's literally like looks like she's looking through the drawers to me and kind of putzing around in there. The two males seem to be going on like an adventure together and doing different things, and they seem to be going a lot of places and taking a lot of trips different places. I can't quite figure out where they're going. So I'd like to sort of interact with some of these souls and see if they have something to give us. They might not. They might just be showing up and saying, hi, we're here, hello. But most of all, what I want to achieve is harmony and balance in this space for our client. I think that would be ideal. Everyone deserves to enjoy their home, and especially during the holidays. Just energy needs to be balanced. So we will go ahead and figure that out and make some magic here, hopefully. Ooh, yeah. There's more pain in here, and actually an inability to breathe. A little bit of airway constriction in here. So this could look like asthma or some other lung disease. There's an inability.
That's Lola.
Yeah, it's a dog, not a demon.
Hi, Lola.
Hi. We've got a little bit of a helper here tonight, which is good. So there's definitely a restriction of airway in this space. Yeah. And this lady, do you see her too?
Are you okay?
You see her too? Yeah? Hi. She's got curly hair and she's showing me her youth of when she would put her hair in curler. She would set her hair is what she's saying to me. Oh, that was a cat.
No, that was a cat. Cat's named Kitty.
Hello, kitty cat. Yeah? Meow. Are you going to help me investigate too?
She's loud.
Yeah?
From what I've been told, she's...
Well, there she is. Hi there.
Her meow is kind of loud.
Hi, Browkins. I'm going to have my own little mediumship distraction moment with petting the cat because I can't
You
help
ain't
it.
meowing.
Yeah, well, hey, you can't help it. They're cute. And they come up to you and then they're fuzzy and they want to be petted. And, I have a weakness for the animals.
What's going on?
There is this woman and she's just into everything. But she seems to be bumping into things. She seems to be bumping into things in here. Yeah, it's a little strange in there with her. I agree. Meow meow. I agree.
Yeah.
There's a lot of so the one male is showing me this like pure exhaustion. Like they were so exhausted and they were just tired. They're just so tired. He just feels tired. He says, I'm fine now, but he's trying to take me through like stages of the departure. God, the throat is just giving me fits. Oh. It's a very interesting sensation in here. It's a very unique feeling. It's very like almost swirly. Like a kind of like a swirly kind of, not in a bad swirly, but kind of like a, I don't know, like almost like a helix rotation. Like I'm seeing like, it looks like sort of like a double helix, kind of like rotating. That's the imagery that I'm seeing in here.
Maybe we have a portal in there.
It's possible, but some portals are good.
Some are good. Some are not.
I sleep in one.
You do.
I created it inadvertently with my gifts. Oops. And so, is this where you do some of your spiritual work and meditation then?
No, I haven't done anything in this
Okay.
house, actually. That has been my office.
Okay.
Until I decided to I have an off-site office that I do.
Okay. Because it feels just a little swirly in here. And we can measure with meters to see. It could just be that this would be a good candidate location to meditate. But there's a swirly energy in here that it's really interesting. And it just makes me feel like, okay, so like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah.
Like when they're the bubbles and they're like going up into like with the bubble, whatever that, and they're floating up to the ceiling.
Okay.
That's how I feel in here. So it feels light, but I feel bubbly, like I'm lifting on bubbles.
Interesting.
It is interesting. It's a very, very strange sensation, but it feels kind of cool.
Initially, I had my bowls in there,
Oh,
and I kept my essential oils in there, but
okay.
now that I have a space,
Yeah, you don't need to.
my bowls are there and my essential oils are out in the garage because the temperature is more consistent in
Yeah.
the garage.
I'm wondering if the bowls didn't transfer a little energy in here. But it's just, I feel bubbly and percolating and swirly. So, oh, I like it.
Good or bad?
I don't find it bad. I found
Okay.
it feels kind of good, and it actually feels kind of neat to me. So, it's different. TV for the cat to watch.
Yeah.
The kitty gets TV time.
That's a spoiled kitty, right?
Well, the cute cat. Kitty deserves it. I feel tightness in my jaw in here. Yeah, so, this is interesting. Ooh, that was really interesting. So I'm touching your bed here, and all of a sudden my crown chakra just was like literally tingle, 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 tingle.
This
like,
is where I meditate.
oh, okay. Like
I
that.
do it.
Wow, it was like
This
a
is my little
bing.
This is my little altar space.
Okay.
And I can put YouTube on that has Tibetan bowls because I need that sound.
Yeah. No, it's super tingly. First, I was feeling some jaw pain, and like I felt pressure, like in my ears on my jaw in here for some reason. It was a little tight, but then I touched the bed, and all of a sudden it was just like this massive electrical like tingle all through my scalp and my crown chakra. It was really kind of cool. It was like, whoa! Gotta prepare for that.
You want to shut the TV off?
Ooh. Right here it hurts a little bit. Right in here it's, I don't know if this is like heart chakra issue or pain, or if it's just like general pain. The chest hurts. Yeah, it's very, very tight in the chest. There's another older woman. She's probably about 85, and she seems to be a little bit demanding, quite frankly. She goes, but I mean well. I know I'm a little pushy, but I mean well, is what she's trying to tell me. I mean well. I know that you do, but don't be so pushy. She's very particular. A little fussy about things, the way she wants things done. Yeah, so, things in their place, traditions, way things. Her flow is just particular, very particular. In her youth, I think she would have been brunette, not in her later days. And I'm also feeling a lot of severe back pain on, like, lower back. The lower back feels very, very tight. It's clamping down really, like, tightly in the kind of meaty part of the lower back. That's very uncomfortable. Okay. The male one statement I got out of him, he goes, "You're right." I don't know to what yet. He just looked at me and goes, and he's like talking to you, huffy about it too. "You're right." So, I don't know about
Is it
what.
the same male that was out there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But that's literally the statement he gave me.
How dare I?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
dare I be right?
Yeah, kind of. It's sort of
Again.
an indignance of, you're right. So, maybe he'll tell us more about that, but he just sort of indignant about it. But in a kind of a joking way. I get this interesting dichotomy in his energy. There's like this could clean up and and look all right, but then there was this very salt of the earth, hardworking type of vibration. Like very, very dedicated to if he set his mind to a task type of dedication, there was a dedication of energy. But then also kind of could sort of clean up and get kind of snazzy with things. But I keep seeing him outdoors. I just keep seeing him outdoors, doing stuff outdoors. And so, I don't know what he's doing out there yet. He's farting around with something out there. Ooh, sharp pain in the leg. One of them's giving me a real sharp pain in my leg. A real tight, sharp pain. So many. There's a lot of layers of residual energy. This is really interesting. There's a plethora of residual energy in the space. A lot of different layers. Do you ever feel anything jump in the bed and there's nothing there?
Yeah.
Okay, because I keep seeing something jump in, or like the that feeling. And I'm like, what is that?
I wondered if maybe it was an animal, or a spirit animal of mine. But yeah, I have.
Because I feel like like the pink pink and then the ding 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 ding, like the little thing. Like, what am I seeing here? It's kind of strange, but kind of cool. I mean, I have some of those at home too, but I've got living ones and I've got spirit ones all over the house. I don't feel anything dark. I don't feel like a dark presence, but I also feel like dream states seem a little odd, and I don't know why. Something dream-wise doesn't feel quite balanced. Am I in your space?
Kitty looks up in that
I don't
corner
know.
a lot when she's in her space. She looks up there a lot, so I'm assuming that there must be something
Something going on, yeah.
going on up over in there. Or she'll look behind the headboard.
Yeah, they can see things we can't,
So
that's
I
for
was like,
sure.
Yeah, she's definitely got a much different vibration than I do.
You're so soft. And you're letting me pet you and everything. I really appreciate that.
Can you tell me what you see? I want to know what you see.
She'll talk your ear off.
Yeah, well, black cats are vocal. That is actually
That's
a
fine.
thing. My 2 kittens are black cats, and I have a big orange one.
It's the only cat I've ever had because I'm allergic to them. But
Yeah.
she's.
She's like,
I took her
"Meh."
to Loomis because when we lived in Forest Hill, a fox got her and she lost a lot of her throat.
Let's see.
Baby.
And when I came to pick
Poor
her up
kitty.
after her surgeries, they were all very happy to see me because they said she was the loudest cat that they'd ever had there. And
Hi there.
When I walked in and I started talking to them, she heard me.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
3 rooms later,
Hi.
and she was just like, "Get me out of here!" It's okay, kitty, I'm right here.
Wow.
Hi, Meow Meow.
Yeah, they're gonna help us get rid of these things.
We're gonna balance the energy so you can be happy too.
With you being, obviously clearly sensitive to energy and in that sort of realm, can't ever promise you that you'll be paranormal free, you know.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
aware of that.
yeah.
And I'm working very hard on making sure that I
Yeah,
do my
ground and bubble
yes,
and, you
ground
know.
and bubble, and
Yeah,
you know, I
perfect.
know that I have a higher frequency too. So
You really, yeah, you got to be mindful about that because you really can't, you can't remove your abilities and you can't remove, you know, being around the paranormal, but you can turn the volume down on the other side to a degree where it's a little more manageable. So I kind of feel like you get a few pop-ins that, especially if you're maybe a little stressed or not feeling well, I think that they get a little closer and they, you know, they get a little more neurotic and annoying because they're like, they, our spirit guides, they worry, you know, like, are you okay? What's going on? And unfortunately, cats can see into light spectrums, you know, that we can't. So, you know, we're sometimes oblivious to the spirits and sometimes we're not. We can feel them, but they full on can see the change in the, you know, in the light spectrums and sometimes the entities themselves. There does feel like there's some thicker energy in spots. It's like it's patchy. And I don't know quite what that means yet. I'm kind of trying to figure it out, but it feels like the patchwork quilt energy. There's like these layers of different energy from different time periods.
interesting.
That's kind of what I'm feeling. I'm feeling different time spectrums are kind of, there's sort of a collision of time. Because I keep seeing different things.
Do you think that's specific to the place, or could that be part of me?
Could be either. I mean, obviously land will carry its own history, its own energy. And if you're not the first owner of the home, then the home can carry its own energy too. And then you're bringing your layer into it.
Certainly.
So, and all of your pantheon of loved ones that want to follow you around. And so then you just get this soup of energy that sometimes it flows together fine and sometimes it doesn't. And I'm just feeling all kinds of weird little things. Like I do see the one gentleman with the kind of the grayish salt and pepper hair with the slightly heavier set man, not like big, but a little bit heavier set, and they really do seem connected some way, and they seem to, I almost feel like they go on like outdoorsy adventures together, like they go and do things together, and a little more time here, and I'm not sure quite why yet. If they're just, you know, wanting to spend the holidays nearby, or if they've been, you know, concerned because you didn't feel well. They have, you know, they haven't really expressed me exactly their total motivation. They just seem to have spent a little more time here lately.
Okay.
And that woman is just in the kitchen, she just seems to be tinkering with everything. She's getting into everything.
Is the woman in the kitchen different than the woman that was in here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that is a completely different lady. The lady I feel in here, I don't think she's exclusive to here. She just happens to have found me in here, or I found her. She's very proper. She just has a very proper vibe about her, and a very traditional vibe about her. So just like what women are supposed to do. She's standing up straight, and this is a woman's role. And she's very particular about something. Everything. She's particular. I don't know. I'll figure her out.
She needs to go because I'm not.
Yeah. No, I will get her to move along.
Are you ready for your close-up?
That was actually cute.
I'm gonna pet you.
She obviously can tell that you guys are good people.
Yeah, because she says she doesn't normally
She's
like
normally
people.
under the bed or in the closet
Yeah.
with just about everybody.
I think my mom's cat.
You gonna go to your little spot?
My mom's cat days will only come out for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my mom,
So
of
you have
course.
see, there's.
She wants her little spot.
She's looking behind the headboard.
Yeah.
You want me to come look at that? Yeah, alright, I'll come look. What are we looking at?
feeling it. Just give me a second minute. I think that when you meditate, I think you've created sort of an energy loop, and not a necessarily bad thing, but it's like a signature, and I'm not sure, but I think your feline may be able to feel the energy flow. Mediums, empaths, other sensitives, they can actually launch their own kind of universal sort of tether in their space where they spend a lot of time.
And that's kind of why I meditate in the same place. It's always been something that since 5th grade when I started meditating. It's just because you create your safe environment.
Yeah.
It's your own bubble. Is it necessarily that way, or should I be meditating in different places?
No, I think that's fine. It's, because then you also, especially, this is also where you sleep, so you get in a nice, quiet, calm, meditative state, and then you can go to bed. It's actually not a bad thing. I tell some people that they have like insomnia or other sleeping troubles, try a little meditation, incorporate that. You're already doing that. So, no, I think that's fine. I mean, you can technically meditate anywhere. If you feel the urge or the need to, ground or clear yourself anywhere, it can be done literally anywhere. If you're just having a stressful time in traffic, relax a little in the car. I mean, that's fine.
When the weather's nice, I have a space out in the backyard that I've created just for that outside.
Yeah, and I think that's perfectly fine. But if you have a sort of semi-regular area that you're comfortable with, that's fine. But what tends to happen with profoundly gifted people is they can almost have like a semi-controlled vortex in their space, in their bed, because your energy is going into that space regularly, and it's sort of like a circular thing going on here. Okay, I'm just...
On Buggy Town.
Hi, boobies.
What do you see, Lola?
Because I do feel it's interesting, and I wonder maybe we can even try measuring with maybe the tri-field and periscope on here, because I feel like there could be some energy fields that we might be able to document right in this space.
Sounds good.
Lola.
Well, Lola's, just making friends.
She's definitely liking your guys' frequency. There's no doubt about that.
Good.
She's very relaxed.
Yeah.
We've bonded with the meow meow.
Would you strive for furry approval?
We do. We definitely do.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, we're both really big animal people, and that is an important part of our clients' lives, is, their pets a lot of the time, and making sure they're just as happy as our human clients. I mean, you guys are family. It's, it's all, everyone has to be happy in the space, and so we want to make sure they feel good too, and I get along with animals better than some people sometimes, so.
I understand that for sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's why I've got 3 cats and a dog, and sometimes I borrow the neighbor's cat, so whatever, I like them. So we're just kind of doing a quick, just mini recap of after the walkthrough. Our client has opted to be off camera for the evening, which doesn't really, it doesn't affect our ability to document our findings. We want to make sure that we get the answers, we get the resolution. My favorite part, the blessing. But as far as the initial walkthrough, obviously there was some stuff that we can validate, some stuff that's not easy to validate, because you may not know everything about the whole history of the land and the house and all of that. But is there anything that made sense to you that I was feeling? Any particular energy I was feeling, or soul, or anything that kind of spoke to you?
Well, the male resonated with me as most likely my husband.
Okay.
I mean, he's a little bit taller than you.
Okay.
He died of lymphoma, and it hit him very quickly.
Oh my God.
So when you're talking about the pain
In the abdomen.
they initially diagnosed him. They thought that he had cirrhosis of the liver,
wow.
because he was a drinker. And then they found out that it wasn't just the liver, it was
Yeah.
kind of
Because I felt pain here,
everywhere.
but then I felt it over here. Then I felt pain going up here. Like, it just felt like
Yeah,
everywhere.
everywhere.
Yeah.
I have a couple pictures of him up there, but he he could clean up real well. But he was I don't know if you're familiar with rodeo, but he would rope cows.
Oh.
They have headers and healers, like the cow would go
Yeah.
out the gate and somebody would rope
I grew up
the
in
horns.
rodeo.
And
I grew up in rodeo
so
country.
he was,
So, yeah.
Okay.
he was a header. He loved
Okay.
horses.
So I can
liked
see why he'd
hunting.
be outside.
He was a carpenter for most of his life,
Oh.
and then he went
So-
to work for PG&E and became a supervisor, and he hated that. And
Yeah.
he could never speak. So I'm thinking that that's this thing, because he could never actually speak his mind. And
Yeah, he had to kind of keep it closed.
Yeah,
What he thought. Yeah. So
yeah.
I felt he was much happier outdoors, and I kept seeing him just stuff with his hands, like.
And
you
you
know.
said something about the pain you experienced, the pain. Well, he cut his left leg
Oh.
with a skill saw.
Oh my God.
He was cutting wood,
Ouch.
and
Well, that would explain that
and
left leg
it just
pain.
kind of went through his.
Yeah.
It kind of went through his thigh.
Oh
and,
my God.
It,
Well, that causes me a little bit of pain just thinking about. Oh my God.
So
Okay.
that, and then you were right comment that
Oh, okay. That made sense.
it made a lot of sense,
Okay.
because I ragged on him for 40 years about eating and drinking, and
Oh jeez.
but I also was like, there is something more there.
Yeah.
There is, and he wouldn't believe it. But when he was in the hospital, we had a lady. We did a prayer chain for him, and he'd been in a coma, a morphine coma, for several days. And we were doing this prayer chain, and he sat up and he opened his eyes.
Wow.
And he said, I see, I can understand. My son kind of freaked out, because he wasn't much of a believer, so he thought he was talking to him. And then when he realized that he didn't, my son left. He wasn't talking to any of us. My son left the room, but so I'm thinking that it's probably him. The
makes
other
sense.
person with him, I don't know, because I don't know that much about his side of the family. I mean,
It could have been
it could have been
some
it could have been
ancestor.
some ancestor of his.
Yeah.
It could have been maybe my dad's energy. The female in the bedroom, not real sure about.
Okay.
The one in the kitchen sounds a lot like my mother, because you were talking about chest, and
Yeah.
my mother had lung. It wasn't emphysema. She had interstitial lung disease because she was a smoker.
Ah.
So she was on oxygen.
So yeah, the
And
ability to breathe in there.
She was
Okay.
nothing was good enough for her.
Ah.
So, especially anything I did. I mean, from the day I was born, nothing was good enough for her. So her going through the drawers and
Trying to rearrange things.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, why are your eyebrows look like that? Maybe you should have blonde hair instead of brown hair. I mean, it was just never ending. So that kind of reminded me of her,
Okay.
but it might not have been her, because I've been very adamant about not wanting her energy anywhere around me or my kids.
Yeah.
And she came through one time and asked if she could watch over my daughter, and I said no. I mean, literally, she was very abusive.
Yeah.
Her
Well-
boyfriend did some terrible things to me. She tried poisoning me a couple times. So I'm like, nope, you still got to stay with. But my husband brought her through.
Oh.
So I thought that, I was like, okay, maybe I'll listen, but
And
no.
with
It might
another
be the
media-
lady who was here
Yeah,
before,
well,
because
that
I don't
could-
know
could-
anything about
could
this
be
house.
could be either or a little bit of a mixture. I could have been feeling, because sometimes souls will layer if they have some similarities. I'll feel a little bit of each of them, and that gets annoying when they do that. I'm like, stay apart. What I'm thinking though too is that souls often really do learn a lot on the other side. They obviously release a lot of the bad parts of them and retain the better parts. They have to go through a lot of learning, a lot of healing, a lot of forgiveness. There's a lot of stages they have to go through on the other side. Now, she may have gone through an intense process of healing, but you're not
necessarily in that place for good reason. You know, you got put through quite a bit. You don't need to have her necessarily around, but because you have a fresh medium on the scene, as it were, maybe she took the opportunity just to pop
Come in and rifle through my drawers.
Maybe, yeah, and mess around and screw around. Because, you know, so they'll show me things that would make sense to connect who they were in, you know.
Oh, and that makes sense.
You know, so they'll give me those glimmers. And again, when I do a cleansing of the home, I only ask for the positive, helpful, loving energies to stay. Anything that you don't need or doesn't bring you joy or happiness or love, that energy has to go, you know, or move along wherever it needs to be. But I can't necessarily control who does or doesn't come through, you know.
That's true.
So when they see kind of the welcome sign on for a minute because there's somebody that's trying to engage with energies that are connected to you or connected to the home, anybody could show up.
That makes sense.
But that's a lot of validation, though, with a lot of the weird pains I was having. So, because I was wondering, I was like, why am I hurting in all these weird places? Like, I don't understand, you know. So it's nice to get the validation
Absolutely.
For sure.
It was funny when you made the comment about the thigh, and when you put your hand on your left thigh, because initially I was going, well, sounds kind of like him, but then when you said the left thigh, I was like. He also split his head open with a double-sided axe. He was cutting wood out in the backyard, and he had a knot, and the axe came up, and so I was like driving him to Mercy Hospital, and
a little injury prone.
Yeah.
Poor guy. But you know, and so that makes sense why he would be sort of tinkering around outside and doing things with that other older gentleman who some connection somehow. He seems to be happy, like, you know, going, because I literally see him, you know, out in the woods just farting around and doing guy crap, you know, and it seems to be very happy. So, you know, it seems to be very peaceful. But again, you know, they see an opportunity to step forward. Sometimes they take that opportunity. They're like, yeah, no, you know, but I feel like, there's this level of pride that's coming out of him, like, and not like a negative pride. It's more like a pride for you, how far, like, what you have sort of overcome.
Oh.
If that makes sense. It just there's this level of pride that I'm feeling because again, being the empathic medium, I get so much feeling from them. It hits me more like an emotion. I'll feel their emotions or the joys of the physical pains, which is great, and then just these little burst flashes. But I just felt a intense sense of like pride and admiration. That's what I felt. Yeah. So I don't feel like he's gonna give you any trouble or he's, you know, pestering you for any goofy reason. He just I think he just sort of pops in.
Oh, that's okay then.
You know, it just sort of, and then it's like, well, it is Christmas, and he's like, well, why wouldn't I come pop in? I don't know. Why wouldn't you? I guess you would. So yeah, there does feel like some layers that maybe could be peeled off, just like energy layers that have been caked on from over time. So I think that we could probably do something about that.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, but I would like to take a few meters just in a couple areas that I felt some particularly interesting energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And see if we can pick up any readings that sort of validate what we were feeling, especially in your room, like because your cat stares in weird areas, your bed had an interesting vibe to it, and then also in that little office room, I'd kind of like to see what we can measure in there.
Okay.
So I think that would be useful, and then we can reboot you.
Okay.
And give you instructions to move forward with the energy.
Okay.
Because obviously when we press the reset button on a place with energy, we know we're fixing the energy in a space. Of course, you guys probably know you have to do the maintenance.
Yes.
You know,
absolutely.
you're in charge of the space after we're gone. It's like sort of rebooting a computer, and then you just have to run the software of the space. So. And I'm pretty confident, given your background in spiritual work and healing, that you're not going to have any trouble with that.
Well, I did make sure that I have wind chimes on all of my. They're 90 degrees. 90 degrees. Although we're supposed to be limited to only 2 wind chimes on our property, and I came down with like 25. So, I mean,
Who comes up with these rules? You
the
can only have
HOAs are very bizarre here.
Oh, wow.
I used to work
and,
for a company.
you're reading
that did
through
that.
them, and
The CCNRs are interesting. Articles, bylaws, yeah.
so.
Only allowed to have 2 wind
So
chimes.
I have 2 on the front, and the ones in the back, I had to, you know how it's got the longer one in the middle that actually moves around. So I've had to remove the middle one, but the wind still blows the chimes around, so it keeps the air moving. I also have crystals
Good.
planted in the ground all the
okay,
way
good.
around. I smudged it before I moved in.
Perfect.
And I use my Tibetan bowls in here. Actually, when I first came here, I have a big, huge mother bowl.
I saw the picture of the
My
mother bowl.
and happy drum. So my grandson would sit in the mother bowl and he'd play his happy drum. But I have that crystal bowl in my bedroom that I use, and I have my Tibetan bowl there. I have several of them still out in the garage, but
Okay.
so yeah, I do. But you know, like I said, when I'm sick, you know, or if I'm gone a lot. Especially, I just got through doing a straight 5 hours of bowl sessions for the Salvation Army fundraiser that we did 2 weeks ago. So
nice.
I'm not surprised that I'm like this
You might
as
be a little
well,
run down, yeah.
because I haven't ever done 5 hours straight without a break.
Yeah.
That's a lot. You know,
That's a
it's
lot of energy work.
It's a lot, and it's a lot of in a small room. You know, having 3 people at a time in a small room for 5 hours, and
Yeah.
they're getting rid of all of their energy.
And you might
I thought I was going to be able to take a break, go outside and clean up, and you know,
Yeah.
but I wasn't. It was just like, oh, that sounded amazing. So, yeah.
That happened with me too. We did a charity event and donated to Shriners all the proceeds from our thing, and I did 22 mini aura readings, little like mini intuitive sessions, like 10 minutes a piece and that kind of thing, and just connect people with some energy, and it didn't stop. I mean, I sat down, I set up my table, got all comfy, and then just bing, 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 and we were there 4 hours or something like that.
5.
Five. Yeah. So it was amazing, but a lot of energy. It was a little draining, but we raised a lot of money for charity, so it was really a special opportunity.
And the fact that you were that busy, that means that people are coming in and they're,
Yeah.
that's kind of the way we looked at ours too. It was like,
People are receptive
people
to
are
it.
receptive to it. They're talking about it and they're asking questions, and that's the big thing for me is that people are.
Yeah,
starting to ask questions,
people are kind of hungry for the positive energy.
Yes.
Do you want to say a little plug about your business?
No.
No. Okay.
No, this is about you guys.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean,
No,
Well,
thanks.
if anybody
Brandon
else.
did a really nice little
Brandon
plug
did.
for me. And,
Yeah, no, he did an amazing podcast, and so I mean, if people end up watching the video later and they want to connect, they can always ask us, and we can connect the dots for them, so people can get the kind of energy work that you do as well, because I think it's a really great asset, and it is one of the RAD podcasts that I enjoyed it. I actually did have to wait to listen to the singing bowl part of it when I went home, because I usually listen to them after the live broadcast, and I'll listen to them at work. I was like, I'm gonna fall asleep at my desk if I do this. So I brought it, I got myself home, I put the phone, and I just sat there and went, oh, this is great.
And he initially asked me if he could videotape or whatever it is that he did with the bowls.
Yeah.
I was kind of reticent at first. And when he asked to interview me, because I just wanted him to come and participate in the bowl session and give me feedback.
Yeah.
Because I'm a little leery about hearing the bowl work over, a radio, or because it's not the same as being in the room and getting the vibrations and having all of that, but he did a really good job.
He did,
So
and
did
it
a
gave
really
me
good
enough
job.
of a perspective that I want to do it. You know, because it was like it still sounded good. It still had that feel. I'm good with guided meditation. I'm good. Sound therapy is huge for me. I've had negative like energy try to get around me from some of our cases, some blowback,
I bet.
and sound healing. You know, he's got a bell that's amazing. I've got some little tincture bells, you know, things like that, and just those clear, you know, around me.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
so sound healing is a great modality, and it's something that I have recommended to some of our clients for aftercare. So I'm glad that you know all about it, and so it's something that you can put into play for your
And it's
continued
just, and it's
healing.
not just the sound; it's the vibration that it
Yes.
causes. Because I mean, we're all energy, right? So you have
We are.
vibration going through you and into your brain, and it
Yep.
does amazing things. So,
But-
so yes, I will make it a point. I did
Yeah.
download the PDFs that you sent.
Oh, good, good.
So I will make it a point to follow through and make sure that
Yeah.
I do the cleaning and.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, and you can tailor all of our cleansing documents, our resource documents. They can be tailored to your needs, the available items that you can, you know, procure, that kind of stuff. The different burnables you like, different incenses you like, stuff like that. And you don't have to do every single thing. And like my giant ways to bless your home document, I mean, that's A to Z everything. That's something that can be, you know, kind of cherry picked to some degree.
Well, I was reading
You know.
it. I was like, okay, I got that. I got that. Like, oh, I'm good.
Yeah, precisely.
I even have tuning forks, so I was like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah, and so just utilizing these different, you know, these different resources that you can kind of put into play with what works for you. Just like I was saying, for me, sound healing works, essential oils work, certain things work for me, as where somebody else, they might want something different in, you know, either how to ground or how to protect their aura,
Right.
or
Well,
what they
we're all
want.
different, so.
Yeah, so, but maintenance is important for people that are, you know, pretty gifted. So, I mean, you just gotta do the maintenance.
You got- yeah,
but,
you do.
know, I have to do that all the time too. You know, just little things. I'll just add something, take something away. You know, kind of tweak it a little bit to where my energy is at that time. If I'm feeling really heavy after a case, okay, well, what oil's gonna work? Or, you know, do I need to maybe light some sandalwood to sort of ground the energy? You know, what will connect for me? So,
Have you ever done a baking soda shower?
I don't think I have, but I know that will pull stuff out of you.
It will, and it'll cleanse your aura and push your aura out a little bit too. So.
I've recommended.
Besides, it makes your skin really soft.
I have recommended people do mix. I have told people to mix Epsom salts, pink Himalayan salt, and baking soda in a bath,
Yeah.
and I know that will yank
That'll
stuff.
pull toxins. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll yank energy and physical stuff out of you, and and it's also calming and relaxing for all the muscles. So yeah, that makes sense. That, you know, slathering up in the shower with it would be a good idea. So we'll break out some meters and then
Okay.
we'll see what else we can
Okay. I'm
get
going
into
to-
If you couldn't be here tonight,
Okay.
this is what you always do.
Well, I was
Try,
just
Phil.
I was just setting it down, getting it set up,
Yeah.
and it decided, you know, I walked away and then it went off.
Did you touch it?
No,
It was right when the cat came in too.
maybe they like the cat. Okay. Kitty, 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 kitty. Yeah. Can you tell me what you see? Yeah, I know.
And so the smudging begins.
You're only going to allow positive energy to remain in this space. Nothing that is heavy, nothing that does not belong, or that is not welcome may stay. It's time to go.
First time I ever saw you smudge an entire village.
The village is clear. Everyone
Very
is
good.
safe and happy in the village now.
That is true.
Half of Reno?
Well, a couple blocks, but.
Downtown Reno?
No, it was like a little neighborhood, and we did.
It was old Reno.
Yeah, we did a cleansing for one relative, and then the other relative lived 2 blocks away, so I just walked down the street with this smudge bowl.
No.
Smudge the tree.
I did. Well, I want the love and the light and the positive energy to encompass everything in this entire space. And I mean, honestly, this is Christmas happiness. I love this.
Oh, it's got pretty good energy in here as it is.
Yeah. And I want this energy, this beautiful, joyful, energy. This is what, I want her to have. So if there is any confused spirits or anybody that doesn't quite belong on the invite list, it's fine that you came to visit, but it's time to take off now. And let's just leave the guardians, let's leave the protectors. But everybody else, it's time to move on. We appreciate your energy, but we need to remove all the energy of the past, anything from anyone from before, and we want a fresh, healing energy in this space. A place where our client and her animals may live in tranquility and peace. I always get a free smudging of myself. So I ask that only love and peace and light and protection remain in this space.
I think Lola got sleepy.
She's starting to snore.
Yeah.
We knocked the dog out. I blessed her and put a little energy in her, and now the dog's asleep.
Conked her. You've done that to humans too.
I have. Alright, ma'am. Thanks for visiting. You go now.
You gonna send her packing?
I'm just gonna help her.
Yeah.
I think she just wanted to offer a little bit of good energy, and I think she was actually just trying to be a little bit helpful, but she kind of not good with her boundaries.
Yeah.
So I
think she's starting to realize that.
Yeah, just be polite, ma'am. You're all about structure, so you're kind of pushing her boundaries a little bit, okay? So just give her space. That would be appreciated. And no energy may be connected to this soul that is not of love and light and protection. That is the only energy that may connect. And I only ask for love and protection to remain in this place. Thank you.
That was interesting. That creak. House is settled, but right at that moment.
They're all moving where they're supposed to be. I like it when they listen. That's really kind of neat looking, isn't it?
It is. I like it.
typically do is I take it all the way out to your driveway and I draw a little border with it. I just sprinkle it out there to
Okay.
make an energetic boundary. So don't. Oh wow, a little chilly out here.
Yeah, feels nice to me.
I think we did good.
Yeah, good Casper hunt.
Yeah, I feel positive about it. Now we'll just arm our client with all the tools, and I think we did good.
Yep, this is a good one. She uses singing bowls, so she drew a little of energy to herself, and so we just reset. And there was one that didn't belong, just like you said in the first place.
Yeah, one of these things did not fit with the others.
But they were all nice. They were all Casper, and that's helpful.
I just got a little bit of a lost one that sort of wandered in, so
Yep.
I think we're rebooted.
Good job.
Let's go back on in before I freeze my tuchus up.